March 2026. Welcome to the jugular of the world. The Strait of Hormuz is only 21 miles wide at its narrowest point. That's shorter than some people's morning commute in DC, yet it carries 20% of the planet's daily oil. If this passage stops breathing, the global economy goes into cardiac arrest. This isn't the first time the world has held its breath here. From the tanker war of the 1980s to the skirmishes of 2019, Hormuz has always been the favorite playground for Iranian brinkmanship. But today, the stakes aren't just about $150 a barrel oil, they are about the survival of the West. We are currently witnessing the fallout of Operation Epic Fury. U.S. Admiral Brad Cooper recently took to the airwaves, boasting that American precision strikes have liquidated over 100 Iranian fast attack craft. On paper, it's a masterpiece of naval dominance. But in reality, the strait remains a graveyard of smoldering steel, and insurance rates for tankers have reached suicide mission levels. Effectively, the door is still locked. Enter Donald Trump. The 47th president isn't interested in the nuances of maritime law. He's looking at the receipt. Seeing America's allies hesitant to put their own hulls in the water while reaping the benefits of U.S. protection, Trump issued a pay-to-play ultimatum that sent a shockwave through Brussels. He stated bluntly, "I'm not spending American lives to protect European heaters for free. You send your warships to the strait by Friday, or NATO is a memory. We're out. Deal with it." According to reports from the war zone, European capitals are in a blind panic. They are pushing back, calling the demand strategic extortion, but Trump's stance is clear. The free ride era is over. Why is the most powerful military alliance in the last 70 years of history currently standing on the brink of disintegration because of a tiny strip of water in the Middle East? The answer doesn't lie in the caliber of the guns or the range of the missiles. It lies in something much more lethal: the anatomy of a betrayal. March 2026. Operation Epic Fury was supposed to be a masterclass in American power projection. We sent the amphibious assault ship USS Tripoli loaded with F-35Bs and paired it with a full carrier strike group. The initial kinetic strikes were textbook. We deleted over 100 Iranian fast attack crafts before their crews could finish their morning coffee. It looked fantastic on the evening news, pure shock and awe. But here's the cynical truth the Pentagon hates to admit. We built a multi-billion-dollar sledgehammer to destroy a swarm of bees. And while we were busy swatting bees, the bees were busy burying lethal eggs. The ultimate strategic goal isn't to destroy the Iranian Navy, it's to keep Hormuz open. And on that metric, the mission is failing. This brings us to America's self-inflicted catastrophic vulnerability. Years ago, the Navy decided to retire the entire fleet of dedicated Avenger-class wooden-hulled minesweepers. The plan was to let the new high-tech Littoral Combat Ships, LCS, handle mine countermeasures using advanced, uncrewed mission modules. Well, fast forward to 2026, and those modules are still mostly a PowerPoint presentation. We built a $500 million Ferrari that can't find its own car keys. Tehran knows this. Their strategy is beautifully, terrifyingly simple. They don't need to defeat a US destroyer in a fair fight. They just need to sink one Saudi supertanker and cause a global insurance heart attack. They are achieving this using sophisticated silent bottom mines that are nearly impossible to detect, paired with the Almas, an image-guided top attack missile that treats ship self-defense systems like a mere suggestion. The consequence is complete strategic paralysis. French President Emmanuel Macron perfectly summed up the anxiety of the Allies now being squeezed by Trump, calling the situation a strategic failure. He noted, "We are witnessing the economic balkanization of the planet. While American bombs are highly precise, or the $12 billion per week in lost global trade caused by this closure is absolute." The Trump administration is furious at the paralysis. National Security Advisor Mike Waltz slammed the inaction in Brussels, stating, "The president is not going to tolerate an alliance where America does all the bleeding while Europe complains about the cost of fuel. You can either deploy your warships or you can start learning how to ride bicycles to work." This is the core paradox of 21st century warfare. The US has the best hammer on Earth. We can flatten any base, but hammers are useless against dust. The US successfully broke the Iranian Navy. The problem is, the US is now missing the broom required to sweep up the mess. While the US Navy is playing a lethal game of minesweeper in the Gulf, the mood in Brussels is somewhere between a panic attack and a cold shoulder. You see, the Pentagon expected a coalition of the willing. What they got was a coalition of the busy. In Berlin, Defense Minister Boris Pistorius didn't just say no, he said absolutely not. Germany is currently the iron fist of the European land defense. But that fist is currently clenched tight around the Suwalki Gap, watching Putin's every move. Pistorius bluntly stated, "We cannot defend the Baltic and the Bayou at the same time. Our naval resources are committed to the North Sea. Expecting us to escort oil tankers in Hormuz while a land war rages in Europe is not strategy, it's a delusion." Across the channel, the special relationship is looking a bit strained. Watch Prime Minister Keir Starmer, facing a British public that is frankly exhausted by decades of Middle Eastern interventions, has hit the brakes. Starmer's office issued a chillingly polite refusal, noting, "The UK will not be sleepwalked into a regional conflagration. Our priority remains the integrity of NATO's eastern flank." Translation: Good luck with the mines, Sam. We're keeping our Type 45 destroyers at home. The reaction from the smaller players has been even more acidic. The foreign minister of Luxembourg recently called Trump's Ship for NATO ultimatum naked strategic blackmail. But from Trump's perspective, this isn't blackmail, it's an audit. The president's view is simple. If your economy runs on Middle Eastern oil, but your warships are sitting in a Mediterranean port sipping espresso, you aren't an ally. You're a customer who hasn't paid the bill. Trump's pay-to-play doctrine has hit a brick wall of European reality. Europe is terrified that if they move their meager naval assets to Hormuz, they leave the back door open for the Russian bear. Europe is currently caught in a geopolitical vice. Do they bow to Trump's demands and risk their precious hulls to save the global oil price? Or do they keep their fleet at home to stare down Putin's shadow? They've tried to navigate a third option, doing absolutely nothing. And that is exactly what is driving the White House into a total frenzy. Europe is facing a life-or-death choice. Listen to Trump to salvage the economy, or keep their ships in the shed to deter Russia. They've chosen the path of paralysis, and it's making Trump go absolutely ballistic. While Brussels is busy writing strongly worded letters, the rest of the world is entering a state of absolute energy psychosis. This isn't just a hiccup in the supply chain, it's a full-blown cardiac arrest for the global economy. Take Japan. Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba just authorized the release of 80 million barrels from their strategic reserves. In the world of energy logistics, that's a Hail Mary pass. It's the equivalent of burning your mahogany dining table to keep the living room warm for 10 minutes. Ishiba warned the Diet, if the Strait does not breathe again by next month, the Japanese miracle will simply evaporate into the smog of history. Then look at South Korea. President Yoon Suk-yeol has effectively set his green energy 2030 goals on fire. Seoul is cranking up every mothballed coal plant they have, prioritizing survival over carbon footprints. When your national grid is 5 minutes away from a total blackout, nobody cares about polar bears. They care about the lights staying on. But here is where the axiom analysis gets spicy. Why is the US Navy, the same one Trump is threatening to pull out of NATO, allowing Chinese and Indian tankers to navigate the strait while Western allies are being told to fend for themselves? Enter Scott Bessent, Trump's Treasury Secretary and the architect of what we call the Mercenary Trade Doctrine. Bessent's strategy is a brutal masterclass in divide and rule. By allowing the world's two largest consumers, China and India, to keep their taps running, the US prevents a total global meltdown that would hurt the American consumer. But by denying that same protection to ungrateful allies, Trump is running a high-stakes loyalty test. As Bessent reportedly put it in a closed-door session, "We aren't the world's mall security anymore. If you want the American Shield package, you have to pay the premium. If not, enjoy the darkness." Trump's stance is clear. Why should an American sailor die to protect a German factory's energy bill if Germany won't even send a tugboat to help? It's cold, it's transactional, and it's pure 2026. Here's the bottom line for those of you watching at home. If that 21-mile-wide strip of water doesn't open in the next 30 days, that gallon of gas you're about to buy could triple in price by the weekend. This isn't some distant desert drama. It's a direct raid on your bank account. Here's the red team reality check that nobody in the White House wants to hear. You cannot shock and awe your way out of a geography problem. As highlighted in recent tactical reviews from the war zone, the Trump administration might be committing the classic American sin, overestimating what a few Tomahawks and F-35s can actually achieve. Trump wants to behead the snake in Tehran, but history shows that Iranian snakes have a nasty habit of growing 3 more heads the moment you step on them. Air and sea power can break things, sure, but they can't hold territory or stop a decentralized insurgency from lobbing Almaz missiles at every tanker in sight. And while the US and its allies are busy in a high-stakes divorce court, the biggest winner isn't in the Middle East, it's in Moscow. And every crack in NATO is a Christmas present for Vladimir Putin. The Russia-Iran axis has transformed from a marriage of convenience into a full-blown military juggernaut. While Trump threatens to pull the plug on Europe's security, Russia is whispered to be testing new hypersonic tech in the Gulf. Over in Brussels, the EU is desperately trying to play grown-up with their Operation Aspids. But let's be real, watching 27 nations try to agree on a rules of engagement manual is like watching 27 people try to split a dinner bill when half of them didn't order appetizers. EU Foreign Policy Chief Kaja Kallas looks like she's aged 10 years in 10 days. She recently pleaded with the European Parliament, "If we do not find strategic autonomy now, we will be relegated to the status of a museum. We cannot beg for American protection while refusing to share the American burden. The cost of our indecision is not just measured in euros, but in the irrelevance of the European project." Trump, of course, isn't moved by the drama. His America First 2.0 isn't a bluff, it's a liquidation sale. He's betting that Europe will blink first. But what if they don't? What if they decide that a deal with Moscow is cheaper than a war for Washington? Trump claims he wants to behead the snake to secure the world's energy, but in his rush to settle the score, he might be accidentally severing the most important cord of all, the 70-year-old umbilical line between Washington and Europe. The old order isn't just shaking, it's being dismantled from the inside out. As the sun dips below the horizon in the Strait of Hormuz, the shadows lengthening over these waters aren't just optical, they are geopolitical. We need to stop looking at Hormuz as just a tactical problem of mines and missiles. This isn't just a military conflict, it is the ultimate check please moment for the Western world. For 70 years, the US Navy has acted as the world's most expensive pro bono security guard. In 2026, Donald Trump has walked into the lobby and demanded to see the ledger. The message from the 47th president is as subtle as a brick through a window. We are done being the only ones bleeding for global stability while our partners play the neutrality card to save a few euros. Admiral Brad Cooper recently noted that while the US has the kinetic capability to turn the lights out in Tehran, the real casualty isn't on the battlefield, it's at the diplomatic table. The Epic Fury campaign proved we can destroy a fleet, but it also proved we can't force an ally to be brave. If the strait remains closed, the economic damage, estimated at $15 billion per week, will eventually force someone to blink. So what's the end game? We are staring at two paths. Path 1, a grand bargain. Trump, the ultimate dealmaker, might bypass Brussels entirely and strike a cynical, America First backroom deal with Moscow and Tehran to open the taps, leaving Europe out in the cold, literally. Path 2, a catastrophic escalation where a single miscalculation sends a supertanker to the bottom, dragging a fractured NATO into a war it's too divided to win. The world of 2026 is moving faster than an incoming Almaz missile. We are witnessing the painful birth of a multipolar world where allies are replaced by subscribers. Will NATO survive this Middle Eastern storm, or will the Strait of Hormuz be remembered as the graveyard where the most powerful alliance in history finally sank? The American shield is no longer a given, it's a premium service. What do you think? Is Trump right to demand skin in the game, or is he burning down the house to save on the heating bill? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit subscribe to Axiom Military to stay ahead of the curve as the world burns.